My name is Patrick. Recently I retired after 26 years as a police officer and sold everything I owned. Now it's time for something different. A journey of healing and inspiration. I'm setting out to ride my motorcycle around the world, searching for beauty, connection, and the freedom of the open road. This is my life now. This is Adventures Without Borders.
Well, this is it. This is the first kilometer of, it sounds crazy, but it's the first kilometer of the round the world trip. So just had a really lovely time with, I don't know, about 20 friends who gathered to see me off. I don't know if you can see them right now, but I've got 4 police motorbikes following me, which are former colleagues of mine who came out, and once we hit the highway they're going to get in front of me and put on a show for a couple of minutes here with the lights, so that'll be nice. It is muggy and hot, and I know it probably looks cloudy on the camera, but that's smoke from the forest fires. So I think there's so much smoke in the air, it's locking in the heat as well. So I am sweating, and I haven't even left the city yet. But once we get some speed going, I think that'll resolve itself as well. Yeah, so I'm just sort of, adrenaline is high. I feel like I'm not riding correctly right now, but there we go. Now that's a send-off right there. That's what I'm talking about. The boys are just going to take me for a couple of kilometers, but having done these escorts before, it's kind of weird to be at the other end of it. That's very nice. Okay, so let me tell you about day one. So I'm leaving Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's about 430 kilometers to Maple Creek, Saskatchewan, and it's not super exciting scenery, but nonetheless, it'll be exciting just because we're going. And that'll be my day one, so not a ton going on. There you go, Mike and JP on the RCMP Harleys. So I had 3 RCMP Harley Davidson and 1 City of Saskatoon Police BMW RT 1200 as part of the escort crew here. So they're going to turn off here and head back to the city and more important duties, and then we're going to carry on. That was nice. All right, it's all open highway from here. Okay, quick update for everything. A bit of bad luck getting out of the city, but nothing major. So you might notice I'm wearing a different helmet. So I got about 30k out of the city. I actually felt something drop onto my knee, and then the visor on my other helmet started rattling. So one of the screws on the side here had evidently not been tightened. It was a brand new helmet, I'd never worn it before. So obviously I didn't find the screw on the highway, so I decided best course of action, go back home and swap out the helmets. I can figure that out later. This is a great helmet too, I wore it on my last trip, so I'm happy with that. I just had to quickly route a microphone through it, so it's a slightly different mic, but I think it'll do the job. And there, off we go. The other thing that happened that I didn't discuss earlier is that while I was gathered with my friends there for my little send-off, and this is, I think it's more my fault. Well, it's totally my fault. But I parked the bike on some angled pavement, so it wasn't really leaning onto the stand much, onto the side stand. So it actually toppled over, and if you look carefully at my windscreen, you will note that there's a big chunk missing. It's just about 8 p.m. and I'm rolling into Maple Creek, which is what I'm going to call it at night on day 1. So I did book a small local motel. Fine, I don't go there. That was easy. Alright, home sweet home. Check in and we'll see what's gonna be up for supper after that. Good morning from Maple Creek after my first night's sleep here. This is day 2, world trip. Eventually I'm going to stop doing that countdown. So it's about 9 in the morning. I'm just about ready to go. So yesterday I was struggling a bit with the fact that the kickstand on the bike seemed like it was too short because the bike was loaded. So I was contemplating a few things, including, and this sounds drastic, but actually shortening the stand by cutting it and re-welding it. Now I did that on a former KLR that had been lowered, but I thought it was drastic. So yesterday I was kind of looking through YouTube, which is always a nice place to be, and I thought of something. So my rear shock, if you look at the pre-dampening, it's actually at the lowest setting right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I just need to find a 12mm socket and go ahead and put that all the way to 5 and see if that maybe helps out my problem in terms of the lean with the bike. So I'm going to pop by one of the local shops here in Maple Creek and see if they can lend me a socket and see if that helps at all. And if not, well, I might have to I've got a friend on my next stop who might be able to help weld it if I have to go there, but I prefer not. But I know one thing is having the bike sitting so straight as opposed to having a good lean on it is not a good scene. So I'm going to go grab some breakfast, then I'm going to look for that socket, then I'm going to hit the road. So today I am heading for Claresholm, Alberta. I've got a friend there with whom I'm going to stay. He's a retired policeman as well, and we're going to have some catching up to do. We'll see you on the road. It has been a rainy day. So I actually had to put, well, the GoPro, because it's in this media mod, is no longer waterproof. So I put that away, and then eventually it was just so dreary that I put the 360 away as well. So now I'm 20 minutes from my destination for the day, just outside Claresholm, Alberta. And well, I can finally see some blue sky, but the bike is filthy. I mean, I'm relatively dry, but nonetheless, it's never comfortable riding in the rain. Welcome to Claresholm, Alberta. I had the best sleep ever last night. It's just so quiet. I'm actually just outside of Claresholm on an acreage. I stayed with my buddy and gave the motorbike a wash yesterday after all that rain and grime that I had to ride through. Fresh air overnight. It was great. I feel like $1 million this morning. So I'm headed into town, which is about just 15 minutes from here, and I'm meeting up with someone, a guy named Eki. And Eki is so he is a very accomplished adventure motorcyclist. I met him, let's see, it was 2013. I was in Istanbul, Turkey, so I was on my European 6-month European/North African trip at the time, and I was walking around near my hotel in Istanbul, and I saw a couple of BMWs parked with Alberta plates. I left a note on them, and I said, "Hey, I'm from Saskatchewan. I'm also on a motorcycle. Shoot me a text," and they did. So anyway, we're gonna meet, and Eki's gonna ride with me out to for about an hour and change out to Coleman, Alberta. I am on my way to Coleman, Alberta. I've got Eki behind me on his BMW. We had a quick coffee before we left Claresholm. There's a couple of gentlemen sitting next to me. Sitting next to us in the restaurant. Started chatting with them. Turns out the one guy was a retired policeman from Calgary who used to ride motorcycles, so you can imagine we had some stuff in common. And that's why we got off to a bit of a later start. This is Frank's Slide. In 1903, the town of Frank was a bustling mining town, coal mining here in southern Alberta in the Crow's Nest Pass. But on April 29th at 4:10 a.m., that all changed. Like so many other places in the world, Frank is famous because of tragic events. So Turtle Mountain, which is the mountain behind me, they were mining that for coal. They were digging underneath the mountain. And most believe that destabilized the mountain. So on that date at 4:10 in the morning, while 600 people in the town were asleep, a chunk of rock from the mountain, about 400 by 100 meters, came tumbling down
It made so much noise that it was heard for kilometers around here and completely buried the town of Frank. A few people made it out, notably the miners on night shift who were working underground. They survived, they were able to tunnel out. There were also acts of heroism as someone ran to the railroad to warn an oncoming train to stop, otherwise they would have come and hit the large chunks of rock that had completely covered the railroad tracks. So Frank is on highway number 3 in the Crow's Nest Pass, close to the BC border with Alberta. There's an interpretive center that's up the hill. That's also very interesting to view. So it's just a kind of an interesting place. There's some beauty to be found in this tragedy as well. And if you're ever in the area, I would strongly recommend taking a few minutes to come and look. Just arrived in Creston. I filled up and I'm just gonna pop in a grocery store here to get something to eat for supper. I don't feel like eating any more fast food or anything like that. Now I know I've been to Creston before, but I think it's been quite a while. I don't really recognize much here, but it's cute. It's a very quaint little place with a beautiful backdrop. And there is my home for the night. Good morning, it's 9:55 and I'm just heading back on the road from Creston, British Columbia, Canada. After a good night's sleep. I got up this morning, did some minor workout type stuff, and grabbed breakfast. And now I am on my way. So I'm going to stop in Rossland at my friend Tracy's house before heading down to cross the US border into Washington State. Oh, not here. Oh, there's a Tim Hortons. And a McDonald's, wow. This will be my turn here. A lot of motorbikes on the road, it's nice to see actually. BC is such a great province for motorcycling. The scenery is beautiful, but because of the mountains, you got a lot of roads that are curvy and just a lot of fun to ride. So had some audio issues, I guess the last couple of days. The little windscreen off the microphone had fallen off, which I didn't realize how important those were. Anyway, so a couple of stories to share. The first one is from back in Maple Creek, which was 2 days ago.
So, well, number one, as you know, I had some issues with the bike, with the lean of the bike because of the weight on it and the fact that it was compressing the springs. So I was at Tim Hortons and I talked to some of the locals about whether or not there was a good welder in town, and they directed me to one. So I got them to cut an inch out of the side stand on the bike, or half an inch, and then weld just the foot back onto the bottom. And yeah, it's done the trick. I haven't had to worry about it, and that, you know, I was kind of paranoid about the bike falling over again. So that was number one. And while I was at that Tim Hortons in Maple Creek, there's a woman who came up to me, and she had seen that I've had these shirts made with the name of the YouTube channel and so forth. And anyway, so she asked me about it, and it turns out she's traveled all over the place, like to South America, but most notably in the early 70s she traveled something that I think is referred to as the hippie trail. So it's Istanbul into Iran, into Afghanistan, and potentially into Pakistan. But I don't know that she went into Pakistan, but she definitely went to Turkey, Iran, and Afghanistan. And she told me then I married a farmer and I moved here, and that was it. Very nice woman. Her name is June, and she promptly commented on one of the videos on the channel as well. So thank you, June. It was a pleasure. I wish I'd gotten a picture. Just stopped in Rossland here for a little bit, and I was visiting with Tracy, who's on the second bike ahead of me, and her husband Brad, who's at the front there. And Tracy and I go way back to the days where I was still living in Montreal, where I grew up. And I haven't seen her in, I'm gonna say it's about 16 years. So I was coming through here and I knew that she lived out here, and you know, we're still in touch on social media and stuff. So popped in, visited with the two of them for a few hours, and just like so many other people, they want to make sure I get out of here, so they're escorting me out, and we're going to go all the way to the US border because it's only about 15 minutes away. So oddly enough, I am a little bit nervous about this border crossing, just because everything we've been hearing. I do think that because I've been watching so much of it, that I have an overblown expectation of anything negative that might occur, because I've never had a negative border crossing into the US or anywhere else for that matter. So chances are it'll be fine. But again, it's funny, any border crossing you get a feeling in the pit of your stomach and you start feeling a little bit nervous about. I think it's just because they have so much control over you, you know, with the ability to search whatever they want, and they can actually say no, you can't come in. It is their country after all. So anyway, I'm just looking at transiting through the US for approximately 6 days in total, and so that shouldn't be an issue. But I'm pumped about moving on. It feels like it's another phase of the trip, even though this Canada phase has only been 4 days. First border crossing. It's very exciting.